way further back than you should be. You should be so much further ahead than where you are in the work that you're doing. Then this message is for you. Hi, my name is Susan Chakowski, and I help business owners thrive. I help introverted business owners thrive in an extroverted marketing world. But what I want to talk with you today about is how we can feel more in line with what we're working on, where we're headed, so we don't feel like we're behind the game, like it's going to take forever, although it might not change the fact that it can take what feels like forever. What I want to get into today is really how we're thinking about things and some things that you can do specifically to help you stay on top of the game and stay on track with what you're working on, but also feel better about the progress that you are absolutely making. Before we go any further, please tell me in the comments, do you feel, or do you have a tendency to feel like you're behind? Do those words, oh my God, I'm so far behind, ever cross your mind? And the thing is they can cross our mind in a couple different ways. One of which is when, in a very big way, like so I'm working on a program right now that I'm bringing out in just a few weeks. And oh my God, I'm like, if I could bring this out right now, I would be ecstatic. But there's just stuff to do. And not just with that work that that program, but other things that are getting in the way of me working on the program. And it can be frustrating very, very easily if I really look at it as, oh my God, I'm never going to be ready for that deadline that I've set for myself. I'm not going to get all this stuff done. And it can be really, really easy to feel behind on this big goal that I have. But there are smaller ways that we can feel really far behind. For instance, I generally sit down here at my desk at 7 a.m. every day. And today I sat down at 7:30 a.m. and I was like, oh my God, I'm already behind. And it was 7:30 in the morning and I'm feeling behind. What is with that? Good morning, Floyd. What is with that hair sticking straight up in the air? I'm looking like, anyway, we're going to let it be there. Good morning, Floyd. Do you ever feel like you're behind, Floyd? I'd love to know the answer to that question. It's a yes or no. And please, if anybody is watching this live or in the recording, give me a yes or no in the comments. Let me know that I am not the only one that tends to feel like she's behind. But the thing is, are we truly behind? Honestly, the answer, maybe you're thinking this already. Okay, Floyd's like, yeah, I tend to feel like I'm behind. But are we ever really behind? Let's stop for a moment and think about that perspective. Behind relative to what? To our, so the word we're going to come up with here is going to be competitors, or the other people. They aren't even competitors. They're just other people working on stuff, right? Compared to what we see going around us, we might feel behind. I'm going to invite you to think of all of those people, whether they're a direct competitor or somebody working in something else, as colleagues. Think of them as your cohort. Think of them as the people that you are working alongside. And if you think of them that way, also keep in mind that their success is an indication that success is available. It is available to them, so therefore it's available to you. If they can do it, so can you. That's my number one takeaway here for you, is to question that voice. Behind according to what? Maybe according to where you'd like to be, but it takes hard work to get to the thing you're trying to do, right? To accomplish that thing. And anyone else that you see succeeding did that hard work too, which means it's possible to get to where you're going by doing that hard work. And just because you can't see the hard work does not mean it's not happening. That person's been working at it behind the scenes. They're just not showing us that. And they might have a team, they might not. But they've got their hard work and they're doing it in order to do the thing you're seeing them do. It's the exact same thing. You need to do the hard work to get there. And I consider time incredibly precious. We only have so much time. So don't wish it away, just wishing you could get to the end. This hard work is where the joy can be, because you're really coming up. And I know you're like, but the hard work, it's hard. As a person who's in the middle of writing some web pages, I get you. It's like, but what do I say? It's hard. It's hard work, but it is so rewarding to get it done and to create the right content that's connecting to your audience. Good morning, Jason. And yeah, Floyd says, a messy bun is a hardworking lady. Yes, let's go with that. I'm in on that completely. And in fact, Floyd, I want to talk about this hard work because I mean, this is where I'm at right now. But I also was talking to some of my clients earlier this week, and I heard this more than once, which is really what brought it to the front of my attention. The words, "Oh my God, I'm so far behind," come out of my own head, but they come out of my clients' heads. And Floyd is even saying it, and maybe Jason thinks the same kind of thing too, and because Jason's here live as well. Welcome, Jason. And I just invite you to question that. It is such an automatic response, but it's behind relative to what? I mean, think about it. If you're working on a project, you wouldn't want to put it out in the world until it's ready, right? So you're not behind, you're just not done working on the thing. And we're not talking right now about procrastination or perfection, neither of which is a good thing, but that's another subject. It's easy for me to get down that rabbit hole. Here's my message for you. You are not behind. And you're not ahead. You are right where you need to be, doing the thing that needs to be done to get there. What's wonderful in some cases, like I'm working on this program, is once I've done this hard work once, it's going to be easier next time to roll it out. And even if you're working on something and then you're going to work on something completely different, it's going to inform and make whatever you do next that much more successful and that much easier to do because you've learned how to do processes. Are you following me? So it always is easier along the way. You've got structures in place. Even if you just go back and copy and paste and edit from there, there's always going to be easier work down the pipe. And whatever you're doing is going to inform your future work. So take the time to lean into that hard work and see it as valuable and the place you are right now as important. Something I do want to share from a more logistical standpoint that can help you when you're feeling like you're behind or when you're feeling like the work is hard and heavy is to keep your goal in mind. And it doesn't mean, okay, on Monday I'm going to remember my goal, or on Sunday schedule the week according to my goal. It means that, and every single day when you sit down at your desk, or wherever you sit to do your work, Floyd's an artist. So when you sit down and you start looking at your work, start with the question, what is my goal? Yes, you know the answer, but start there. Bring it to the front of your brain. What is my goal? And then ask, what is one thing that I can do to move me towards that goal? What is one thing I can do today that can move me towards my goal? And if you have done that one thing, you're making progress. And make it a doable thing. Right? If you're looking to build your list to a certain number, what is one thing I can do today to build that list? I can send out a social media post that encourages people to sign up for my list, maybe through a lead magnet or something like that. There it is. You've done the one thing. And it's one thing after another thing after another thing that's going to get you there. And as long as you're making slow but steady progress, your success is inevitable. It's inevitable. You're making your way there, and that's what matters. As long as you're checking things off that list, not all the things, one thing every day. Make them small, biteable, chewable, digestible things, and you will get there. And remember to look at where you've been as well as where you're going. That's one of the reasons I talk about how when you work on something and you kick it out, the next time you do it, it's going to be easier because you've learned something from the previous. That looking back at where you've been is going to help you feel that success, stay motivated, but also draw from where you've been to help you move forward faster. You will get there. The question isn't if. The question is when, and you will get there when you get there. No rushing. This is the joy, and I invite you to think about it that way. That's all I have for today. I really, this was just really present in my mind. I hope you find this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have something you'd like to add to the list. I'd love to hear more ideas. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me. And this project that I'm working on will be coming to you hopefully sooner rather than later. It will come to you when it's ready. I have plans. Floyd says, I have a painting study buddy who would write the point of a painting on the canvas before painting it. It is a really neat concept, Floyd. I love that because it's like its base. They're building on. That's fantastic. To your point, and everything that I'm talking about is what I do every day. I'm like, okay, what is my goal to deliver this offer, to you, to this program that I have that I'm working on, and I'm actually really excited because I established the dates Today's Thursday. I think it was Monday or Tuesday this week I established the dates. It can be helpful to look back and be like, what did I do? I was avoiding establishing what date I wanted to churn this out for weeks, months. And this week I decided what dates they're going to come out. And to give you a big, vague circle of time, the program will start after the 4th of July. You'll hear about it before the 4th of July. Which I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how that was going to lay out. So that's some information. Thank you, Floyd. Yeah, it's surprising how difficult it is to put out, to mark a line in the sand. This is the date that it's going to be available. So it was kind of scary, freaky stuff, but I'm really excited to have done that, right? So Floyd, what have you done this week? Tell me in the comments, what one thing did you do this week to move yourself forward? I'd love to know that. We need to look back and celebrate those things. We don't tend to. We're always going forward, chugging along. What's next? That's what gives us this sense that we're behind. And it's so valuable to be like, wait, what have I accomplished, right? I'm working on the offer page right now. And as much as I'm like, oh my God, there's so much here to do, there's also a lot already there. And, you speak to this, Floyd. I want to add something to this, is having buddies. So Floyd has a painting study buddy, right? I have my communities. I've got a co-working group that I meet with every single week. I've got my different people that I go to with different questions, and they come to me as well. It goes both ways, which is part of why it works, right? We all have our specialties and you surround yourself with the people that you can trust, that you value, and build those relationships, because that community will support us as well. So it's really, really powerful stuff to do that. Floyd did live sketching in the Garden of the Gods. He is in Colorado Springs, where I lived for a little while. I love it there. And what an amazing inspirational space that must have been, Floyd, to go there and to do some live sketching. I used to do some hiking in there, and it's just a beautiful area. There are always people climbing up on the rocks, doing some serious climbing on those rocks that are there. It's an amazing space. So good for you for getting out of the house and doing that. I can really see how inspirational that will be. All right, my friends, thank you so much for being here this week. I will see you again next week. You're now sick from too much sun exposure. I'm sorry. You got to protect yourself. You need to bring an umbrella next time so you can be out there, but protect yourself. That's something important. I hear you. Thank you for joining me, Floyd. Love seeing you here. And I will see you all next week on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I hope you'll join me. If you have any questions or a topic you want me to talk about, pop it into the comments. I'm always happy to be talking about that, about something that you want to hear about. And I will talk to you then. Have a fantastic